Hey, good morning. This is the Mad Monk, and I'm here at the apocalyptic ashram Hawkshaven. And I wanted to talk a little bit today about what it is to be free, right? Because I am one of the freest guys that I know. And I am free because I've recognized a few of these natural laws of cause and effect. I've recognized how nature works naturally to bring balance and order and life and growth. And something that resembles something that's natural, right? When I was young, I learned what was natural wasn't necessarily what's being expressed as normal, right? Because what's normal has been created by this idea of idols, broadcasted over a vision programming, right? And if we've been programmed to think and act and pay a certain way, we might not recognize options that are available to us if we take a step outside of that, right? Because there's a lot of things that could be happening in the world that aren't happening just because they're not normal, right? I'm gonna get down here in the shade here for a second. Maybe that'll be better. So just because what we have been experiencing, let me get my finger out of your face, as normal, doesn't mean that's what is natural, right? And let's see here. Let's look at fish pond for a second. I don't know if you can see the fish in there. They're kind of camouflaged. They're not always gold, right? That's like some of what I have to say isn't always recognized because um, it's not apparent enough. I don't know. I mean, is it because I'm the weird guy? My hair's crazy and I live out in the desert. I'm turning it into an oasis. The reason I wanted to actually shoot this video is I was looking at Facebook, and on Facebook there was a post about somebody saying how if we just grew fruit trees everywhere, that we wouldn't we wouldn't have hungry people, which is a pretty good idea, right? I mean, here's some more shade. This is how the animals find homes and stuff, as they go into the soil, right, into the ground, because that's what makes sense. So why do we build our houses away from the ground? You know. So anyway, let's go with this right now for here. So anyway, they were saying if we planted fruit trees and if we had gardens everywhere, that people could eat for free. And that's a pretty cool deal, right? Because if you can eat for free, that means that you have more money to be able to pay your rent, right? So you don't end up homeless and struggling and in fear of being beaten up or raped or killed while you sleep, right? Why is there such struggle to exist in the world today? Is it because we don't know how to do anything? Or is it because we've become dependent on somebody somewhere else for everything that we do? And if we're dependent on somebody somewhere else for everything that we do, that means it can be taken away or neglected. But when we gain our independence, not our independence of somebody somewhere else, but our independence. We know how to get water, right? I mean, I'm surrounded in, even in the desert where I am right now, I'm surrounded in water. It's flowing past me all the time, right? And it's actually the water that is surrounding me is absorbing more water because it's drawing me from the water that I put on me to keep me cool, right? It's how everything works. It's the way of water, you know. It's not been managed in most areas the right way for a long time, and that kind of can promote a dependency on it coming through a meter or from a well, a deep well that's expensive, right? The thing is, okay, so if um, we're growing food everywhere, my point to this, I guess, in a roundabout way, so I can be who I am. The there was a comment to the post about being able to grow food everywhere so people have more money. They didn't say about spending on rent, but we'll talk about that in another video. Look up housing on this channel. If you type in on the search menu, there should be some videos that I've talked about this, right? And there's like 300 and some videos that I've made, and all of them are intended to be towards growth, oneness, and um, divine accordance. So growing your own food so you have some more money in your pocket. The comment was that, oh, well, but then people are going to be throwing apples and tomatoes at cars. And I was like, okay, so would you, if you saw apples laying on the ground or on a tree, would you automatically assume that those are to be thrown at a car? And my answer is no, because I don't want somebody else throwing apples or tomatoes at me. And so, that's idiocracy to assume that because somebody somewhere else might do something wrong with the resources that are provided, so we should make it to where everybody everywhere has to buy their food from the grocery store for a fee instead of gathering it at the source for free. Does that even make sense? I mean, does anything about that make sense? Many people, millions and millions of people are growing grass all over their property, and they pay a landscaper to come and mow it all down, to harvest their crop every week or every 2 weeks. And they throw it away, and they pay to throw it away. So they pay for it to be maintained, they pay for it to be harvested, they pay for the water to keep it green, because everything has to be green, right? And because green is a good color. It's just that maybe diversity is also a great thing, and a landscape that you can eat from, that is an asset instead of just a liability. And I can appreciate that people want to have a green grass to be able to sit down and play in. But when you spray all of those chemicals on it, it's not safe to be doing that. So if we stopped using chemicals that kill stuff in our environment, and if we started growing food everywhere that, or at least some of the places that grass is currently being grown, and we make little water harvesting features all over the land everywhere, I really think that we can turn into an abundance that maybe nobody in the past, at least in our written history, has experienced. Living aligned with nature, naturally thriving, using money as a tool instead of a chain. You know, these money has become a chain that binds us to certain things. It's useful, but don't let your life be ruled by it. Anyway, there is another way. Oh, let me go into that a little bit farther. So say your answer to my question, would you throw apples and tomatoes at somebody's car because they're right there and available? Well, that's where I believe in these natural laws of, if you're opposed to hearing a profane word, I'd plug your ears right now. This is the natural laws of fuck around and find out. So if people throw things at me, I consider that an assault, because if I throw a rock at you, that's an assault, right? If I throw a lead bullet at you, that is an assault, right? If I throw my fist at you, that's an assault. If I spit on you, that's an assault, because I'm doing something that it's likely that I wouldn't want done to me. So I say is, go ahead and throw an apple at my truck, or throw a rotten tomato at me, and find out what happens to you. I'm tolerant up to a point, but once the level of tolerance is consumed, that's where the fuck around and find out happens. I hope you're the same way. There's been a lot of people that I've witnessed in my life that they come to a point that they're just unwilling to put up with disrespect anymore. And so they step away from it. And if they can't step away from it, they flatten his face. So have a great day. Know that there are solutions for the problems that we're facing in the world. And when we start just paying a little attention to what matters instead of the entertainment, uh, we quickly realize how making different choices can achieve different results, and really um, help us find benefit in our life. I mean, I used to live more aligned with the standard American dream. I paid rent. I had a car payment. I had all of the normal bills that had to go out every month that everybody else had. And then I realized, if I don't spend so much money, I don't have to work so many hours to be able to spend so much money. And so I started doing differently. And I found health, and I found happiness, and I found peace, and I found abundance in my life. Because, like right now, an abundance is these rocks. And when I was living the standard American dream, I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do with all these rocks? And then I started to recognize the growth potential in everything that I have and everything that happens for me. And all those pallets. What are you going to do with all those pallets? When they're in a pile, they look like trash. But when they're stood up, right now, they're providing a trellis for plants to be able to grow on. They're giving some plants and stuff the ability to have some shade out here in the desert. And it provides a privacy feature that I like. And if you don't like it, that's okay. You can build one that has white pickets made out of plastic by a child in China that had to be shipped to you. Or you can pick up what's available in the communities around you and do it another way. Thanks for watching. Right over there, if you would hit the subscribe button, that would help me share my content a little bit better. And if you're interested in what I've been doing, right down there, you can watch another video. Thanks.